All right, everybody, welcome back to Bulk Mythic here on YouTube. Today, we're going to take a look at the pre-release pack that I got to open up last weekend. And I did this at the store, so it was pretty noisy there. I didn't bother talking onto the tape while we're taking a look at it. But here I went ahead and broke the plastic, got it open, and let's take a look at what's inside. So there's that D20 spin down that you get, and then Squirrels is a little bit of a meme in this set, so you get that little pamphlet there. And for those of you who aren't familiar with how to build a sealed deck, you get that little tip guide there. My promo card there is Chef's Kiss. It's the red pseudo counterspell for this set. So it's got gain control of target spell that targets only a single permanent or player, and then you can copy that spell and redirect it, and it can't copy anything that you control. So kind of a very interesting counterspell slash redirect there that I didn't find a use for in the pre-release. I did put it in my deck because I did originally play a black-red build at the card shop, which you will see here pretty soon. I just kind of felt like those were the deepest pools that I had, but I actually did not end up casting that spell. So cracking this open here, there you see the Liquid Metal Torque. Interesting little card there, along with the Fast and the Furious. The Liquid Metal Torque will turn anything into an artifact, which I used later on. But that's my first big pull right there with the Profane Tutor. The Profane Tutor is a suspend card for 1 and a black, suspend 2, and then it's a demonic tutor after it comes off a suspend. So I'm pretty excited that I got that one right there out of my rare slot for that pack, because I will definitely be putting that into some of the commander decks that I plan on building, or that I already own. And in addition to the fact that I got a Greed, not an expensive card, but Greed is a good card. I put it to really good use there in the tournament. The Hell Mongrel there, very interesting card for madness. And then that Disciple of the Sun came in clutch when I built my red-white deck for the Spell Table event. So I did play this pack at the store. You know, I was there for the pre-release, but then I brought this pool home and I played it even some more on the Spell Table event that Wizards hosts on Discord. So you can find the Discord channel for that and get into that channel, and it has a pairing bot that puts together people for the sake of getting onto Spell Table. And then you can get your matches, get into your Spell Table rooms, and play your game. And then next up here, a very interesting card, Gorilla Shaman. So when I opened this, I didn't really read the card, and I thought, hey, this would be really good given the artifact lands. But then after I gave it a second read, I realized that, you know, the artifact lands were indestructible, but that along with the Liquid Metal Torque was pretty interesting combination when I put it together finally. And then a Harmonic Prodigy, very good card. One thing to note about it is that it does not copy its own trigger. It's other wizards that you control, so it doesn't copy its own prowess trigger. So opening this pool so far, the Profane Tutor is the best pull that I've had. My green is very, very shallow. I'm getting a lot of red and black cards. I was leaning very closely towards that, but they also have a lot of the overlapping 2-color themes. If you haven't seen yet, on the backside of some of the tokens is an actual theme list given the 2-color combinations. So I took a second here to look at that Soul Migration to see, okay, it's a very expensive spell. It comes with 3 bodies. I did not end up playing it in white, but it could be good in a token build if you're trying to go wide. That Mind Collapse there, very good removal spell. You can spend 4 mana to cast it at instant speed on your opponent's turn. Or if it's on your own turn, you can go ahead and spend your mana as you will to cast what spells you have, and then sacrifice a tapped mountain to get that extra spell out of there. And then followed up by that Flang Tum Kavu. Very aggressive card. I forgot to read the last bit of text on that card that allows you to deal damage equal to its power to a target. And once I figured that out, like, it was such a better card. Being able to drop a creature and sink mana into it so that you can gain an advantage and then also deal damage to either remove a creature or whatever you need to do. Magus of the Bridge here coming up. That card probably a lot better in constructed than it is in limited, or even better in draft if you don't realize that it can go to the graveyard if you just happen to let one of your opponent's creatures go to the graveyard. And I played it in my first game. I attacked with it, blocked. It was a chump block, but then that, of course, removed the creature anyway. But you see here on the back side of this token that I just opened right there that it has the 2-color archetypes. So if you don't know what's going on in the set, those are very valuable there. Give you a lot of really good information, but if you look very closely, there's a lot of overlap. So in Grixis, it's a lot of self-mill / discard / graveyard theme across the board there. And because those were the deepest colors that I had, that's kind of the direction that I went at the shop. I definitely had the black-red build. I was splashing blue for some card draw and discard. And that's about it as far as my blue is concerned, but I definitely had those dual lands to support it. I had the black blue and the red blue dual lands coming out of my packs, so I was able to kind of splash for free, and the only basic lands I had to put in there were swamps and mountains. And then it didn't really play out as well as I thought it would. I brought it home. I built a blue-black splashing red themed deck with the discard combination of the enchantments Feast of Sanity and Mystic Redaction. And it was kind of a cute little combo, but it really didn't go off the way that I thought it would. In Limited, it's definitely a creature format. You need to have creatures on the board because it's combat based. And in Draft, I could definitely see that combination coming together. There's another blue enchantment too at the uncommon level, or rare maybe, that allows you to discard and create crabs. I think that, along with the other two, would really make a good draft deck so that you can create that wall of little 0/3 crabs that can block for you while you're doing the discard and the life drain theme of the other decks. Coming through here, like, I didn't have any huge pulls after that Profane Tutor and the Patriarch's Bidding that you'll see here coming up pretty soon if it hasn't come across the screen already. Patriarch's Bidding, not great in sealed unless you do end up with the squirrel deck just by accident. But in draft, because the squirrel deck is in black, it's good recursion for all of your little squirrels. And then there it is right there, the Patriarch's Bidding. But I'm super excited that I got it because it's probably one of the biggest chase rares in the set. And since I do build a lot of tribal commander decks like Hydras and namely Slivers, I'm going to be playing that Patriarch's Bidding in there just to kind of recur essential my entire graveyard. Happy that I opened that one up. And looking at it again, like you've seen, have not seen a lot of green cards. Green and white is a very much a +1/+1 counters theme, so you're going to see a lot of token generation, a lot of ways to pump your creatures with +1/+1 counters to make them permanently larger. And I did not get the cards to play anything like that, but one thing that I didn't notice and that I did put together for the Spell Table event was a red-white artifact creature deck, especially since I had the Arcbound trackers. I also had one Arcbound prototype and one Arcbound slasher. And I got into a pretty interesting game on Spell Table where I was able to bring my opponent down to 1, and then they stabilized, and then they brought me down to 1, and we traded resources card for card for about 4 turns. And then what really broke it down was I was running one copy of that Disciple of the Sun in my deck. I drew it, was able to cast it, and another Arcbond creature that I recovered from my graveyard, the Arcbond tracker. And that's what broke the stalemate right there. Like, I would cast a creature, they would remove it. They would cast a creature, I would remove it. We would have blockers. We were just pushing at each other. And it was literally 1-to-1 for like 5 turn cycles. And it was pretty stressing, especially since I spent the first part of the game being well ahead and drilling them down to 1 first. But once they stabilized, I got extremely nervous and had to be extremely careful with my removal. But looking here at the cards, I did not have much in green. The green-black theme is definitely squirrels. And I had some big stompy stuff, a little bit of ramp / color fixing there, but not a whole lot. Those crack opens, though, I will say, when you're in Draft and Sealed, they're a lot more valuable in this set because of the limited environment having a lot of artifacts and or artifact creatures. So being able to point those things at not just enchantments that might be controlling the board or boosting things like Mirari's Wake or the pacifisms and things like that, but you also have the opportunity to remove those artifact creatures. My white, I was kind of hoping I had a little bit better white, and it turns out that I did when I decided to pair it up with red, especially with 2 of the blacksmith's pump spell, and it played out pretty well, but I stayed away from it when I was at the store, and then I leaned very heavily on my black and red for the removal and the seemingly aggressive creatures there. But I had a lot of fun playing this. You know, the event was pretty cool. coming back and being able to drill more games on the spell table event was super fun. You get to play at your own leisure, super low stakes. You can rebuild in between rounds, whatever you want to do. Take your time throughout the weekend and play lots of different decks. I highly recommend that coming up with the Dungeons and Dragons set that's coming out. There is going to be a spell table event as well as in-store play where it's safe and reasonable to do so. So make sure you check those out. And, if you get a pre-release kit to play in your store, bring it home and continue to play on the spell table. Get some more experience with those cards. Stay tuned to the channel. I'm going to have a lot more content coming up. I do have a set booster box of Modern Horizons 2 that I'm going to be cracking open. I'm going to do 10 packs per video for 3 videos there. And what I've been seeing already online is these boxes are juiced. These set boosters are definitely the way to go. If you're just opening up packs to get cards out of them, open up these set boosters. They're a lot of fun. They have a greater distribution of uncommons and rares than you're going to see at all in a draft booster box. And that makes sense because those draft boosters are for that specifically draft, right? So get the set boosters. If you want to splurge a little bit, get those collector boosters. They got all the fancy treatments and all that kind of stuff. You're not going to get an etched foil, old border, whatever it is, without getting one of those, I don't think. There's a huge graphic on the Wizards website about what's in what packs, and it's super confusing. But I just like the set boosters because it gets me the higher rarity cards more often. I'm just trying to get cards that I'm going to play. And if I can't get cards I'm going to play, I want to get cards that I'm going to trade in. And I don't want to have to spend too much money to do it. And right now, the set boosters are about as much, if not even less, than the draft boosters. And you're going to get more value out of them, in my opinion. So make sure you continue to get out there and support your local game stores. If it's safe to do so, they need your money. We're coming out of this thing. They're being able to open up, get people in there. So go spend your money where it counts, where you're going to be able to talk to people face to face, play games face to face, let them know what formats you're excited in. They're all rebuilding their schedules as far as events that they host. So make sure that you get out there and let them know what you're expecting to play and start building this community back up. We made it through this thing. We're on the other side of it. It's going to take a little while to get all the way out, but let's build this community back up the right way and get out there and show Wizards where we want our cards to come from. And that's at the LGS, where they can take care of us and we can take care of them. So hopefully you enjoyed this opening, and we'll have some more content coming soon. If you enjoyed this video, give the video a thumbs up there, subscribe to the channel for more content, and leave a comment down below. Let me know what you did or didn't like about this one and other videos that I've made. And while you're at it, go ahead and share this video with a friend so you can let others out there know that we are sharing our hobby together.